Hello, investors. This is Connor Bates, Associate Portfolio Manager with Revere Asset Management. Today is Monday, April 20th, 4:35 p.m. Eastern Time. Come to you with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. Take a look at trend gauge here. We have the four coveted green arrows. Leadership is acting great. And all major indexes are trending above the 21 exponential moving average, 50 simple moving average, and long-term 200 simple moving average. What happened today? Pretty tight days across the board on the index level. S&P only down 25 basis points. NASDAQ down 32 basis points, and then some nice outperformance in small caps up 58 basis points, mid caps, and nice day from the leaders. 21 over 21 list was up 1.18%. Turbo 12 was up 0.93%. 60/40 down 0.22% on the day. GROTECTION down 0.16% on the day. And TurboTection up 0.86 on the day. Let's get into the charts, and we'll start with the S&P 500. As you can see, just a tight inside day at the highs, really. Any pullbacks into the 7,000 area, we want to see supported and into the 8 EMA, but it's good, seeing that, 8 EMA is catching up to the price. 21's back above the 50-day moving average. 50 days starting to hook back up. So getting that full bullish alignment in the moving averages for the S&P 500. And again, maybe a little bit short-term extended, but again, we could get rid of that extension through time and not price. And that's kind of what we did today. Just a tight inside day. Really can't ask for better action there. RSP looking to join the party as well. If this can get back through 205.24, that'd be a great sign. That's the pivot there. Good action there. Nice cut base. Let's see the Qs, similar thing as well. Any pullback, you want to see 636, 637 area hold. You can see this line here along with the 8 EMA. But again, undercut Friday's lows and reclaimed and closed decently today. Some of the Mag 7 pulled back today, which is normal after being very strong. But again, this looks very, very strong. And again, off the low, this is a huge move, right? 10% plus for an index is huge. But looking at the bigger picture, right? We just got back through these highs going all the way back to November, December area of last year. So really nice base, and this rally looks like it wants to have legs as long as we hold these levels and leaders continue acting well. Let's delete that. Mag 7 again looking quite constructive as well. Just tight day here after a strong move up off the lows. Dow Jones Industrial Average joining the party as well. Watch 50,000 here. Mid caps, new highs again today, and this one's breaking out very nicely out of this base. Russ 2000, one of the best, one of the leading indexes as well at putting in a higher high today, and just want to see this hold above 2735, and then 2800 is some next resistance there as well. ARC, nice hammer here off the 200-day moving average, and you can see kind of broke this trend line, and again, in a risk on market, ARC should go up. It's just good proxy to watch. FFTY coming back as well here. VIX, good, has some room. Actually closed the day up almost 8%, gap up and closed near the lows. But again, sometimes these little pops on the VIX are good because it gives more room lower. And so if this gets back under 18, we're going to be looking at that 16, 17 area for the next spots. The dollar, potential bear flag here below the 200-day moving average. Gold getting tight here right under the 50-day moving average. Gold miners as well. See if they can really, pretty simple little flag set up here. See if we can get through in this cut base. Silver getting very tight along the moving averages here. Bitcoin, try to break out on Friday, gap down today, but holding this pivot. And this is really what we're watching for our BitX position in Turbo. But again, doing nothing wrong so far, but want to see it hold this level. Bonds into the 200-day, TLT as well. And then rates, are they forming a flag here? We shall see. All right, that's the inter-asset correlation. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Percent of stocks for the 5 day still up there, but I would honestly expect them to be higher. They cooled off a little bit today, 73 and 76 respectively. The news front, really, we opened futures last night at 6 p.m. gap down about 1%, and that was just weekend developments. Put the next round of U.S. Iran talks in a bit of a limbo, I guess. And then intraday, Trump told Bloomberg that it is highly unlikely he will extend the current ceasefire if a deal is not reached this week. So there was some volatility across that. Crude oil was up, 9%, closed the day at 5%, but crude oil is still trading below that 90 spot. Right now it's at 86.70. And so again, seems like the market isn't moving as violently on these headlines anymore, but still important to watch. And then tomorrow we got the retail sales, all green across the board for the keys. Going to be watching the same stuff tomorrow. Consolidation day one, 14 days above the 8 EMA, 9 days above the 21 EMA, and very tight range today, 34 point range on the S&P 500, and it is very refreshing to see this type of market. Low volatility uptrend on the indexes while seeing great outperformance in leaders. And that's really our type of market. Sectors wise, XSD is a semiconductor ETF, oil, rare earth, material, software, builders, uranium, weakness, Bitcoin, silver, airlines, gold, XLY, XBI, and XLV. GROTECTION today added on to GLW 1.26 RVAB, estimated balance at risk 6.05%. TurboTax, we bought NVIS 1.78 RVAB, estimated balance at risk minus 6.38%. Bottom line, S&P 500 and the NASDAQ tight price action at the highs. Leadership outperforms. Let's get into the charts. We'll go with trades today. GROTECTION added on to GLW. You can see really nice tightness here at the highs, forming a really nice continuation flag, holding this 162 left side high. Volume declining, getting tight at the 8 EMA. Looks really good. We own this in TurboTax as well. And then in TurboTax, we bought a starter in NVIS. Really been wanting to get a piece into this one. Kind of has everything you look for. Big base, nice linear move out of the base, low volume pullback to the 8 EMA. In theme, lots of power, lots of volume, to be one of the best stocks in the market. And this was the first little digestion that we've seen. And you can see, getting a little flag here. So see if this can continue. But so far looks good. And, as long as it holds its top of the base, it's in good shape. All right, let's take a look at the leaders list. Credo, this one's owned in GROTECTION. Quite the day here, taking out these 164.80 left side highs. And again, I mentioned this in last week's video. We've been seeing these setups work really nice. And so what I'm talking about is gap up on high volume on a catalyst, put in a couple tight days of consolidation, and then you're taking it, through the flag, through the trend line, through the high volume close. All those tend to work, and this one is another perfect example, up almost 9% on the day. Marvell, extremely strong, getting pretty extended. Now, this is, I believe, 10 ATR above the 50-day moving average. They had some news with Google, but watching for a pullback here. BE, very similar setup as Credo. We own this in TurboTax as well. And again, never violated the gap day lows on this catalyst. Gap up on volume out of the base, and now strong day at 5%. Dell, another one that we own in TurboTax, up 4% on the day, another new high coming out of the big base, looks fantastic. Kava, good action. GROTECTION owns this, continuing up the right side. VRT continuing higher as well, new highs. XPO coming out of this cup base, strong action. CLS continues higher out of this base. 8 EMAs catching up to price. This one looks great. Iron getting tight here right against this downtrend line. And this group is super strong. You got Iron, CoreWeave, NVIS, HUT, Wolf, WGMI. You can just look at all those and they all are extremely strong. Caterpillar looking to continue through this base, through the, holding above that 790 pivot. Nice setup here. PWR continuing higher, closing above 600. EWZ flagging to the 8 EMA. Keys continuing higher. UFO space continues to be a great theme. XBI, a very tight day after a strong move out of this base. Look at how tight that is on the low volume. Sienna continuing up the right, up, just continuing up. Close above that 500 psychological spot. GEV consolidating right at that 1,000. Livermore, Teradyne added this week into the 21 over 21 list. We own this in TurboTection, acting super well. If this dipped, back into 344, could be an add-on opportunity. TPR, see if this can take out this little pivot in this handle. Micron, like this one as well. Nice wick off the 8 EMA today. And, really nice base, double bottom base, whatever type base you want to call it. Again, if this gets through 455, 471 into new highs territory, memory still major theme. Don't see it changing soon. Planet Labs after the strong breakout day, 2 tight days inside that range below 40. And then there's Credo. And let's take a look at the 21 over or sorry, the Turbo 12 list. AMPX, we own this one as well. Pretty strong day, nice volume, looking to get through this 20 level. Big base in the strong theme with the alternative energy arm. Finally looks like it's going to be starting. Biggest single stock position in TurboTection right now. This one was up 5% on the day. And again, next levels, closing above 170 was big for this one today. So, 185 and then all-time highs when you look at this weekly. This is a huge base. And CPUs right here. This is a big driver and it's been in a big range, very choppy. But ever since this gap up on volume on that catalyst, and another, nice volume signature here. It's been trading much better and see if this one can continue, get some momentum this week. Modine, uh, Modine holding well. We talked about this breakout squat coming back through the pivot. AAOI, these stocks are just unbelievably strong. This one's what? This one's, 257% above the 200-day moving average, and they are not pulling back whatsoever. Big strength there. GLW, watch this one if this can take out this earnings reversal gap highs. GLW, covered that one. SOLS, this one's getting really tight, really quiet. Look at these two candle closes, super tight. So if this, takes out this pivot right here, we own this in TurboTection. We potentially look to add on to this one. This one is a Honeywell spinoff, and you can see, they cover a variety of different kind of sectors, and the chart looks fantastic. Lunar outside reversal today, but still holding up well. FRO, we bought this on Friday, through the trend line break, and then came lower, and then put a nice reclaim of this trend line with a nice lower wick. This one looks good. See if this can get some follow through. TSEM continues to just ride the 8 EMA higher. Fly pulling back a little bit with some of the other space names. And then BWXT is this maybe pulling back into the top of the base to the pivot. That's going to be a must hold spot for that one. Some other ones, let's take a look at SanDisk. Getting super tight at the highs, flagging off the 8 EMA. If this one breaks out, you'd think, Micron and all the other memory names follow. And just overall, good action across the board in many of the leaders. A lot of strength, a lot of different sectors. Rocket Labs, another one, another strong day today. After breaking this down trend line. DOCN, this one's worth a watch into tomorrow. It's just showing major RS versus the other edge computing names. And if this one takes out the highs of this base, could be a good actionable trade for tomorrow. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, and covered most of the ones in the 21 over 21 list and leaders list. I will just show IO and Q. I mean, these quantum names are getting huge volume off the lows, and you see kind of they've broken this big down trend line from the highs. So a lot of volume, something might be going on here. So maybe these ones start to flag out as well. But all in all, good action. Leaders are holding up great. Seeing rotation, right? S&P and NASDAQ were red, but small caps and mid caps were green on the day, and that's just continues to be the name of the game. Looking for low risk spots to add on to positions in the leaders and staying patient. So that is going to wrap it. As always, like to hear from you. My email is connor@revereasset.com. You can reach out to me on Twitter at ConnorJBates_. You can always give us a call at 855 Real Wealth, 855-732-5932. If you're ever interested in becoming a client, as always, please reach out. Thank you guys for watching and have a great night.